This is the plaintiff, Cindy Mucciaccio. She says the defendant's dog grabbed her dog Snickers and mauled him. Her dog was wounded badly, had to have stitches, and when those stitches came out, they needed to staple them. The defendant refuses to take responsibility for her bills. She's tired of getting the runaround and is suing for the $3,826.30 she's owed. This is the defendant, Mark Palmiato. He says the plaintiff got her dog a week before this incident. It was running around their neighborhood off a leash, and the thing attacked his dog. His dog was off leash too at the time, so we thought it would be fair to split her $2,000 vet bill because he's a nice guy. He handed her $1,000 in cash, and the crazy lady threw it back in his face. He tried to do the right thing, but no more. He's accused of mauling.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Ms. Muchacho, you are suing your, neighbor, Mr. Palmiotto, for $3,826.30 that you say you are out between missed work and vet bills as a result of an attack by his dog on your dog, according to you. Tell me what happened.
I had just gotten back from Publix, which is a shopping center and a supermarket in Deerfield Beach. And I just pulled into my driveway, and I beeped the horn for my boys to come out and help me. And the garage went up, and my son opened the door inside the garage and was coming out, and my dog came out with him. Okay, and I turned around, I had seen Scorpio in between these two cars.
Who's
my
Scorpio?
car, his dog.
Okay.
Right by me, and I didn't even think anything of it because I didn't think anything was going to happen. I said, "Hi, Scorpio," whatever.
Why does everybody think nothing's going to happen when there's two unleashed dogs?
Well, I had the groceries in my hand, and then
Is that why?
No. So
had they known each other and been friends and been friendly and been?
No, they didn't know each other. I mean, he lives 9 houses away.
Okay.
And
how new was your dog to your house?
I had him like a month and a half.
Okay.
Because my father passed away and left him. I flew here, picked him up, and brought him home.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And then, so you had the dog for a month and a half, and this is your dog's first encounter with Scorpio, who is a what?
Chocolate lab.
A chocolate lab. Big one?
Yeah, 100 pounds. Would you like
I don't know
to see
a small one, but anyway.
Would you like to see a picture?
So go ahead.
So I was bringing in the packages, and Snickers came, and I guess Scorpio grabbed onto him and then brought him like right a little bit down and started shaking him, and my son was screaming. I threw the packages down, and about, 200 feet away, his son was coming. I was screaming, and his son tried to get him off of my dog. And then...
How old is your son?
My son is 14.
Oof. Go on.
And so his dog shook him a little bit, and we were screaming, and I'm like, please, get him. So he tried to pull him off, and he did, and then he grabbed him from the other side, and then he finally got him away. And
who finally got him away? He did, or the son?
His son. He wasn't there. His son got him off of the dog, and then my dog ran into the house under the table, and I wind up taking him to the corner because I have an emergency vet right on my corner. Oh. And I called him.
That's convenient because everybody's leaving their dogs walking around unleashed.
Yeah.
So it's very convenient to have the emergency vet down the block.
Well, he was just coming out of my house.
Do you have a gated house? The answer is no, because Scorpio got onto your property and probably doesn't have opposable digits, right? So the front of your house is not fenced in.
Well, it wasn't the front of my house. It was through my garage.
Okay. How did Scorpio get in? Was there a fence?
No, he was in between the two cars.
So your dog shouldn't be unleashed. What is your dog doing visiting the neighbors?
My son usually goes to the park with the dog, and my son was going out, open the garage to get his bike and go for a bike ride. My mother pulled up, my son's grandmother, so my son and the dog went over to say hello to my mother, and as my son was talking to my mother, Scorpio drifted down towards the park. So my mother came.
How did that happen? You should only have like a leash on him that lets him go 8 feet.
Absolutely.
So what happened? What does your son normally do? Your son normally takes Scorpio out he's on the bike. How old's your son?
Well, he was 15 at the time.
Okay, and so he normally just rides his bike and Scorpio follows along free
No,
and
he
easy.
wasn't
You
gonna-
guys are in Deerfield Beach, right? You're not like in farm country somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's
All
a
right.
nice area. It's
It's
an
a
open
very nice
with a
area.
beautiful park,
It's a
right?
residential area.
With a beautiful park right around the corner.
Why are both sides' dogs roaming around free?
Well, mine wasn't roaming around. He was just
Oh,
coming
really?
over.
Okay, but you have evidence otherwise, right?
Right.
About her dog. What is your evidence?
I have some photos that were taken in it.
Oh, well, her dog roaming free again. Okay, let's see.
All right. A note from the neighbor.
This is another neighbor, Michael Lanzi, okay, who says that he lives 2 houses down from you for the past 3.5 years, and that you have one dog, a little gray one, that's not this one, that you've allowed that dog to wander around the neighborhood at will at the park behind the he has never seen your dog on a leash or you cleaning up after it. Then you got the dachshund 6 months ago, and now both your dogs roam around without leashes.
Not true.
One morning, I had my garage door and the door to the garage open. I was in my kitchen getting my daughter's breakfast, and suddenly I heard a noise in my living room, and there was her dachshund
That's
in my house. I had to chase it out of my house. 3 weeks ago, I took my dog out for a walk at 9:20 in the evening. My dog was on her leash. We got in the middle of my front lawn, and here comes a little gray one, barking and growling at me, ready to bite. The dachshund right behind it, barking. I told her to get her dogs off my property. Does that sound familiar? Her response was that the gray dog doesn't bite. In the meantime, the dachshund went up to my front door, no leash again. Since this incident, she still lets her dogs wander around the neighborhood without a leash. Oh, here's a picture of your dog wandering around the neighborhood without a leash. Are you being framed for that too?
But this specific incident was right in front of my garage when the garage
You
door
think
went
that makes a
open.
difference? Don't you guys understand that they're animals? They're animals, guys. Clearly, your dog wanders around without a leash because I will phrase it exactly as you phrased it, or actually, your son phrased it in his affidavit. I opened my garage door so I could ride my bike. My grandmother pulled up. My dog and I went out to greet her. No leash. As I was speaking briefly to my grandmother, my dog went down the block towards the park like we often do. I guess it's used to going without a leash to the park.
That's correct.
What? Yeah, but that shouldn't be correct. It's not the dogs, folks. It's the humans. Okay? Be good, responsible dog owners. Both of you. What happened to Snickers? Give me the vet bills. I take it was one-sided, the injury. In other words, your dog didn't have to go to the vet?
No. Could I say something?
Yeah.
I have a couple of pictures as well. I don't know if you want to see them.
Of what?
Of my dog.
Doing what?
Just hanging out. Kids.
Yeah, let me see how your dog is hanging out on leash. Let's see.
No, he's not. Oh, he's in his backyard.
Did you also have pictures of his dog roaming loose after this as well?
Yeah, last month he came to my house at 4 a.m.
Do you have a picture of it?
I have a lot of pictures with
yeah,
his
let me
tag
see
and
it.
everything. Do you want to see? What do you want to see?
I want to see the pictures of his dog roaming loose after that's because the part that fascinates me is that each of you have pictures of the other person's dog roaming loose after the bad thing happens. So still no one's learned a lesson. Still the humans need to be like quarantined and educated. Oh my goodness. This is his chocolate lab where?
In my backyard.
Why is your dog roaming loose again?
Your Honor, I don't know how my dog could have opened
What do you think she
latch
did?
that's 5 feet high, get out,
Well,
and then
apparently
get
you guys
back
are
in.
a little careless and
then-
do this all
and
the
then
time.
get back in and shut the
You
gate.
guys can't be bothered to walk your dogs. That's usually what I find. When people open the door and let their dogs roam loose, they're too lazy to walk their dogs on a leash. They're too lazy. So they want their dogs to go out and get some fresh air and poop on other people's lawns without you scooping it, which is also the law in Broward. You know, because it's factual, that your dog attacked your dog. What your position is what?
I think that I offered to share the expense
Right.
with
So
her.
what you feel is, since both dogs
That's
were
not
off
true.
leash, that you should share the
Well,
expense.
actually, I think her dog was off the leash, my dog was off the leash. I should be responsible for my dog. She should be responsible for hers. But I felt bad about that because, it was like $2,000. And I was like, before Christmas, I figured I would try to help her.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So 2 dogs off a leash, one gets hurt. Does the dog owner of the dog that bit have to pay the vet bills?
I don't think it's 100% to zero. I think they have to apportion responsibility.
Okay, that's a fair way of looking at it, but both owners were violating the law. Is it tough luck?
I say tough luck, suck it up. You both are off the leash. So you got to take what you can.
What do you think?
I would definitely say tough luck, and they're both off the leash, so they're both in the wrong.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
The first vet bill in the emergency clinic is the $2,279.95, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then 5 days later, I guess the way the cut was healing, it had to be done over again,
Right.
which was
And
due
there was
to
an
his
additional
dog.
500 and something bucks.
Yes.
Right. Now you're suing for $2,826.30 in the vet between the vet bills and the medicine, but you're also suing for $1,000 for a missed week of work. Why?
Because I stayed home with the dog. I didn't leave him alone because I didn't want him to he had drains coming out of him, and I didn't want him to mess it up. So I pretty much stayed with him for a week straight.
I understand that you chose to do that. In court, you would be entitled to would be charges that are reasonably foreseeable as a result of what occurred.
Okay.
You taking a whole week off from work, I don't know that I've seen, I mean, that's nice. I'm glad you did it. I just
Well,
don't know that I've seen other
was
people do
hoping
that.
it would be less.
And do you have any proof that you make $1,000 a week?
Just my paycheck.
May I see your
Sure.
paycheck? Do you have an actual paycheck as opposed to a photocopy?
No, I just made a copy of it.
Okay, but this is not a week's earnings. This says 3/9 to 3/23. That's more than a week.
Well, that wasn't the week that I took off. I just wanted to show you what I make. It's my
What do you
paycheck.
do?
What I get. I own a preschool in Pompano.
Did the preschool close down while this happened?
No, but I had someone else come in and do. I'm a director, and I had somebody else
All right,
come.
I'm not
in.
going to award you a missed week of work.
Okay.
Now, let's discuss what your premise is, which is I'm not solely at fault, Judge. Right?
Right.
All right. I want to be extremely clear, in case I wasn't clear enough beforehand, that I think both of you are irresponsible dog owners. Not just you, both of you. You are irresponsible dog owners because after that, it continues to happen and the dogs are still out. Frankly, each of you should call the animal control every time you see the other person's dog out. Now, Florida is a strict liability state. Let me explain to you what that means. Florida has a statute, unlike other states, that says you as a dog owner best follow the rules, because if you don't and your dog creates injury on someone else, a person or property, you will have to pay for it entirely. You are like an insurer. That's what the case law calls it. It's like you're an insurance company. No questions asked, you must pay. It's not like it is in other states where it's a question of negligence. If it was a question of negligence, I would say you're negligent, you're paying half. Because that's how I feel. I feel like you're both responsible for this happening, because I don't think that there should be loose dogs. Have I made that point clear? That I don't think there should be loose dogs? Okay. But, and I don't get in there with dogs and say, oh, but this one was in self-defense because that one was picking at him. Or this one was in my property and a dog's home, it's its castle. We don't do that with dogs. They're dogs, they're animals. The humans shouldn't put them in contact like that. I'm always marveled when and everybody does, is they have their dogs on a leash and they're sniffing the other dogs and then bad things happen and they're all surprised. They're animals. All right. In your state, my state, okay, what Florida says is, no, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that. If your dog created injuries, you get the privilege of paying for 100% of it. Because of that, my hands are tied, and I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $2,826.30. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So if the defendant's going to let his dog run around without a leash, maybe you should move to another state.
Maybe,
Florida doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
The law.
When Deerfield was starting to strictly adhere to these policies and write people tickets, it was when I stopped. This was an isolated.
How did she get those pictures of your dog running around in her place? You think she came over and let the dog out and took pictures?
It's a mystery to me.
Take a guess.
I'm not. If I was to accuse somebody of something, that wouldn't be fair. I didn't see her do it.
All right.
4 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm. All right, right around there, your documents are waiting on the way out, okay? So you come on in here and bring the doggy and everything. How is the dog now? Here, step up a little bit. The dog feeling okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Doing good.
What do you think of the outcome of this case?
I'm very happy about it. I thought that he should have done the right thing and paid for it in the first place, no matter what.
Yeah. How'd you get those pictures of his dog running around?
4 o'clock in the morning, I hear my dogs barking downstairs. I go downstairs, and he was at my front door.
Judge says you're not a very responsible owner either. You taking that to heart? Can you change anything?
Yeah, definitely. I'll just make sure that the dog's not, that he's on a leash. But he's
Listen, anyone that knows her knows that she's the best.
Harvey?
That's it.
Okay, so the bottom line here, this dude is right here. In most states, what happens is the judge does apportion liability. Both are 50% responsible. Each owes the other 50% of their damages. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.